Hello everyone, this is Crime Alley Comics. I hope everybody is having a great day, and I hope you're ready for episode number 40 of the Comic Book Artist Spotlight. This will be part 2 on Rob Liefeld. Last week we ended up talking about his departure from Image Comics. Now we're going to start talking about him joining Awesome Comics. So to start out with, after leaving Captain America, Liefeld attempted to buy the rights to Fighting American, a similarly patriotically themed 1954 character from Captain America's creators, Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. The still living Simon and Kirby's widow agreed to a figure Liefeld felt was too high. And he created a new similar character, Agent America. Simon threatened to sue, and the parties renegotiated a deal acceptable to all. Marvel Comics then sued Liefeld, who was allowed to use the character but not have him throw his shield as Captain America does. Liefeld also hired comic book writer Alan Moore to revive many of Liefeld's creations. Moore wrote a few issues of Youngblood and Glory, but his most lauded work for Liefeld was on Supreme, for which Moore won the 1997 Eisner Award for the Best Writer. Awesome's initial release included new properties like Kaboom, created by Jeff Matsuda. Awesome ceased operation in 2000 due to the departure of its primary investor. In the 2000s, Liefeld returned to his former characters in the X-Men franchise, providing pencils for the occasional cover and or interior of Cable and X-Force until the early 2000s, when both were canceled. In 2004, he reunited with Fabian Nicieza for an X-Force limited series and illustrated the early covers for Nicieza's Cable and Deadpool. In that same year, Liefeld formed Arcade Comics and once again announced plans to revive Youngblood. These involved reprinting old material and providing the art for two new series, Youngblood Bloodsport with Mark Miller and Youngblood Genesis with Brandon Thomas. Although the former only published one issue, Liefeld expressed hope to finish the series. Liefeld and writer Jeff Loeb returned to the Heroes Reborn universe with Onslaught Reborn, a 5-issue limited series that premiered in November of 2006. It met with poor reviews. In 2007, Liefeld and writer Robert Kirkman collaborated on a revival of Kill Raven. Although 5 issues of the series were finished, the project was canceled without any of them being printed. In July of 2007, it was announced that Rob Liefeld and Youngblood would be returning to Image Comics after years of self-publication. This new partnership marked the first time in a decade that Liefeld and Image would collaborate on a project. This Youngblood series was written by Joe Casey, with art by Derek Donovan and Val Staples, and covers by Liefeld. It debuted in January of 2008. Liefeld took over writing and art duties with issue number 9, though that would be the series' final issue. To commemorate the event and the 15th anniversary of Image Comics, the 2007 San Diego Comic-Con was headlined by the Image Founders panel, where all 7 of the original Image Comics founders appeared on stage simultaneously. Now we're going to move into 2010. 2010 saw Liefeld return to the Deadpool character, first by penciling issue 1 of the Prelude to Deadpool Corps series, the issue focusing on Lady Deadpool. Liefeld became the regular artist on Deadpool Corps, providing the interior art for the first 9 issues. In March of 2011, Liefeld was announced as the artist on the Infinite, a mini-series written by Robert Kirkman. In January of 2012, this project was canceled by Liefeld after Kirkman's studio, Skybound, disagreed on the work of a new inker Liefeld hired to draw 14 of the pages in issue number 5, which Liefeld re-inked as a result. In June of 2011, he was announced as the artist on a new Hawk and Dove series with writer Sterling Gates as part of the New 52 DC Comics relaunch of the entire superhero line, returning Liefeld to the characters that helped establish him in the industry. With Hawk and Dove canceled as of issue number 8, Liefeld was hired to take over 3 other titles: Grifter, Deathstroke, and the Savage Hawkman, plotting all 3, while also writing and drawing Deathstroke. Though he indicated in July of 2012 that he would stay on the title for a run that would end in 2013, he abruptly quit DC in late August of 2012, announcing that the number 0 issue to be published in September would be his last. Though he characterized his experience on the New 52 as an overall positive one, he did not discuss his animosity toward editor Brian Smith, with whom his clashes were among his reasons for leaving the company. Other reasons he cited were frequent rewrites of his material and the overall corporate culture that was more prevalent now that both DC and Marvel were owned by large media conglomerates. Liefeld also referred to Scott Clark's artwork on Grifter as crap. Liefeld indicated that he would return to focusing on his creator-owned properties at Image, including Bloodstrike, Brigade, as well as other projects yet to be specified. In response to these events, artist Pete Woods defended DC editorial, stating that the restrictions placed on creators was the result of a plan they had for all 52 of their titles that required them to be consistent with one another. Editor Tom Brevoort and writer Gail Simon defended Brian Smith, disputing Liefeld's characterization of him, leading to a heated exchange on Twitter between Liefeld and Brevoort, and eventually head Batman writer Scott Snyder as well. In 2011 and 2012, Liefeld returned to his earlier creator-owned characters with new books written and illustrated by other writers and artists. These included a new Avenger line ongoing series debut at Image Comics under the creative team of Mark Polton and Owen, I believe it's Guinea, a Bloodstroke series written by Tim Seeley, a Glory series written by Joe Keating and illustrated by Sophie Campbell, and a Prophet series written by Brandon Graham that garnered critical acclaim. He also published revivals of Youngblood with writer John McLaughlin, with artist John Mallon, and Supreme by Eric Larson in 2012. Supreme being another comic. In August of 2012, Liefeld generated controversy by posting a tweet in which he said of his creation, Deadpool, and the creators who worked on the character, "Testament to Deadpool's appeal and durability is that he thrives regardless of being regulated to D-list talent Marvel A-list never touches." The comment was met with criticism by industry professionals who pointed to the esteemed creators who had worked on the character that Liefeld was apparently calling D-list creators. Rich Johnson of Bleeding Cool took issue with Liefeld's assessment, pointing to the work of esteemed creators who had worked on the character, including Joe Kelly, Ed McGuinness, Joe Madureira, and Gail Simon, David LaFamme, and Kyle Baker. Artist Dave Johnson, who had also worked on the character, referenced a video Liefeld posted on the web a year earlier of him inking a comics page while driving by saying, "Yes, I've been elevated to the D-list of talent. Thanks, Rob. Now, if I can only learn how to ink while driving a car," then Marvel Editor-in-Chief Axel Alonso also referred other creators who had worked on Deadpool, including Gary Dugan, Brian Posen, and Tony Moore, saying, "Welcome to the D-list." Liefeld made a cameo appearance in the 2016 film based on his most famous creation, Deadpool, which was released in February of 2016. In an interview that month, Liefeld stated that he was working on the graphic novel Deadpool, Bad Blood, which is set for the release later that year. In 2017, it was reported by Deadline that Liefeld was working with Akiva Goldsman and Graham King on a 7-figure movie for this extreme universe. In June 2019, Liefeld reacted to the sweeping editorial changes that occurred at DC Comics in the aftermath of the controversial printing error on Batman Damned #1, with a set of 2 tweets in which he stated, "DC Comics gonna drive off a cliff here real soon. Gotta get my popcorn. I ain't never seen a company in as much disarray as DC Comics. Thank God they have Batman to act as their Tylenol, aspirin, laughing gas. More Batman will fix it." So yeah, I mean, Liefeld has, when they say controversy, he's been in a lot of controversy. And like somebody stated on part 1 of this video, you either really love him or you really hate him. So, so yeah, he's definitely got an interesting personality. Liefeld's name has become something of a lightning rod in the industry. In an interview, Brian Michael Bendis described the polarization of opinion on Liefeld. There is a great dichotomy. There's either some great and generous story about Liefeld, or you will hear some unbelievable thing like, how is he not in jail if he did that? There is no middle ground. So, you know, there are tons of stories out there that we could go into about Rob Liefeld's controversies and his problems with co-creators and other artists and writers and publishers, and all the flack that he has had with them and that they have had with him. But I really don't want to go into a lot of the negative because I'm not here to try to make him look bad or make him look good either way. I'm just here trying to give some information about Rob Liefeld that I think that my audience would enjoy learning about. So I think we've dealt enough with the controversies because I don't want to put a bad taste in anybody's mouth about him, because from my perspective, there are all sorts of creators that have all sorts of personality differences, and some of them get along, some of them don't get along. You have that throughout the industry, and that's kind of with any industry. There's some people you can work with, or some people you can't work with. Just so I don't want to give anybody a bad view of Rob Liefeld. I'm just stating some things that's been, put out there in the media. So what I'd like to do is get away from that part of it now, because I do like Rob Liefeld's work. I like his art, and I like his some of his writing. I may not like everything he's written, but he has written some good stuff, and he's done some good art. And you can't take that away from him. On the other hand, other people, other collectors, may absolutely despise Liefeld's artwork and his writing. And that's okay, because to each his own. We're all different and have a right to our opinion. So what I want to do at this point is go on to his creator credits. At the beginning of Liefeld's run on the New Mutants, the heavily muscled, heavily armed cyborg character Cable was created for the team and became a popular anti-hero, although there is a dispute over Cable's origin, with conflicting accounts of credit given to Liefeld, Bob Harris, and Louise Simonson for aspects of the character's concept and origin. For a time, Marvel credited only Liefeld and Simonson as Cable's creators within the Cable and Deadpool series. He also was credited as the sole creator of Young Blood, when documentation suggests that Liefeld's longtime friend and collaborator Hank Canals co-developed that team with him. Liefeld has also contested sharing creator credit with writer Fabian Nicieza for the character Deadpool. In a 2016 New York Times interview, Liefeld said that he did all the heavy lifting in writing and drawing the issues in which the character first appeared, while Nicieza wrote its script, saying, "If a janitor scripted New Mutants 98, he'd be the co-creator. That's how it works, buddy. Deadpool does not exist in any way, shape, or form without me. I wrote the stories. Like Jim Lee and others, I worked with a scripter who helped facilitate. I chose Fabian, and he got the benefit of the Rob Liefeld lottery ticket. Those are good coattails to ride." These remarks drew criticism from writer Dan Slott, Mark Waid, and Kurt Busiek, and artist Derek Robertson, who felt that Liefeld was diminishing Nicieza's contributions to the character. Busiek, in particular, referenced Nicieza's work on Deadpool's signature trait, saying, "Because the success of the Merc with a mouth clearly had nothing to do with the guy who supplied the mouth." Liefeld later said that he hated the Times article, called it a hit piece. So, like I said, a lot of the information that I have here is, talking about the problems and so on that Liefeld had with so many people. So I want to get away from that completely. So now let's talk about his artwork. These are the projects that he has worked on doing the artwork. X Factor number 40 and number 52, cover only, and number 54, cover only. Uncanny X-Men number 245, New Mutants number 85, cover only, number 86 through 91 and 92, cover only, 93 through 96 and 97, cover only, and 98 through 100. New Mutants Annual number 5 and 6, X-Force number 1 through 9, plot and pencils, he did on those. Number 10, he did the plot. Number 11, plot and cover. and 12 and 13, he did the plot. Wolverine Volume 2, number 154 and 155. Marvel Comics Presents, number 52, 53, 85, and 86. Captain America Volume 2, number 1 through 6. Cable, number 71, 73, 75, and 77. Young Blood and Young Blood Bloodsport, rather. Brigade, Armageddon Now. Smash, Rejects, which is RE:*GEX. Dooms, number 4. Teen Titans 27-28. X-Force Volume 2, number 1 through 6. Onslaught Reborn, number 1 through 5. What If, Volume 2, number 7. Deadpool number 900. Prelude to Deadpool Corp, number 1. Written by Victor Gischler. And 5 issues limited series. Marvel Comics, May 2010. 120 pages. Premiere hardcover, July of 2010. And then it gives the ISBN number, which I figure you probably don't really care. Deadpool Corp, number 1 through 9. The Infinite, number 1 through 6, August 2011 through January of 2012. Grifter, number 9 through 12, and number 0, cover art. Hawk and Dove, number 1 through 5, 1998. Hawk and Dove Annual, number 1, in 1990. He did the cover art. Hawk and Dove, number 1 through 8, in 2011-2012. Deathstroke, Volume 2, number 9 through 12, and number 0 in 2012-2013. He was the artist and the cover artist on those books, on the Deathstroke. The Savage Hawkman, number 9 through 12, cover art. Image United, number 1 through 3, 2009-2010. And then as far as writing, he did Deathstroke Volume 2, number 9 through 12, and 0, and number 12 and 13, number 13 and number 14, he did the plot. Grifter, number 9 through 12, 0, 13, and 14, plot and co-writer. Avengers Volume 2, number 1 through 7, he did the plot. Captain America Volume 2, number 1 through 6, he did the plot. New Mutants 98 through 100, he did the writing. Well, like I said, this is all writing now. Marvel Comics Presents, number 52, 53, and 99. Prophet, Cable, number 1 and 2. The Savage Hawkman, number 9 through 12, number 0, and 13 through 15, plot and co-writer. Wolverine Volume 2, number 154 through 157. X-Force number 1 through 12. X-Force Shatterstar number 1 through 4. All right. So I believe that is all I have for part 2 of Rob Liefeld. Like I said earlier, I hope I didn't give anybody a bad impression. I mean, I'm reading through this and I'm thinking, man, this is just not the direction I wanted to go. I don't want to just focus on issues that he had. I'm more concerned about it showing his artwork here on the screen and giving you some background information. So some of that background information I feel like is more than what was needed. So that's why I wanted to go on to other things and just kind of finish talking out about his career and what he's done. So anyway, that's all I have for part 2 of Rob Liefeld. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any further information, I've never met Rob Liefeld myself, so I don't know what he's like. I mean, I've heard, like you hear with any artist or writer, some people have good experiences with them, and some people have bad experiences. And of course, it could have to do with what kind of day they've had and so on. But I mean, I've heard many stories about meeting an artist one time and feeling like they were a total jerk, and then going back and meeting them again another time and they were like the nicest guy they'd ever met. So, everybody has their issues. from time to time. So sometimes it comes through, and it makes people feel, like they're not appreciated as a fan. But I understand all that. I understand all that. So from the interviews I've seen of him and so on, he seems like he would be a really nice person to meet. If any of you have met him before and have any input on that, I would love to see comments about those sort of things. So if anyone has any information they want to share, please leave it in the comments below, and I'm sure the community will appreciate that. So that's all I have, and next week will be episode 41. I haven't decided who I'm going to pick for that one for the next week. I've got a couple ideas. So anyway, and if you have any suggestions of artists you would like me to talk about, please leave a comment. Because there have been a few people who have left comments, and I always add the names to the list if I didn't have them on there already. But I have had some special requests from a few people, and I've covered a couple of those, and now I'm trying to cover some other ones, and my list has grown. I've I think I have about 83 or 84 artists on my list now. So this is episode 40, which this is only the 39th person since I've done part 1 and part 2 on Liefeld. So I've done 39 artists so far, so I've still got a long way to go. So, and I do intend to keep doing this. I do think, I'm learning a lot, and I hope you're learning something from it, and I'm getting a lot of positive comments, and I really appreciate the feedback from you guys. And so with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I almost forgot. I've got some books. I mean, I know you've been looking at pictures as you've been watching this video, but I almost forgot to show you the books that I have of my own of Rob Liefeld. So let's get to those, shall we? So the first one up is Mark Spector, Moon Knight number 19. Get out of the light here so you can see it a little better. Very nice Spider-Man and Punisher cover. New Mutants number 87. This is the second printing. I could have swore, I'm almost positive I had the first printing, the red cover, and I can't find it. As you can see down here at the bottom, there's Rob Liefeld's signature and McFarlane's as well, but Liefeld's is on top. This is New Mutants 98, but it's the facsimile edition. And this is Brigade number 1 by Image Comics. You can see the Liefeld signature there, and Scott. Issue number 1. Bad Rock number 1, I think. Yeah, 1, and it's the C cover. And again, there's Liefeld's signature. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, there you can see it pretty good. Okay. That's a really neat, interesting looking comic book. And then the last one I have here is Blood Brothers Blood Strike. That is issue number 1. It's got a very strange cover that I don't know how well you can see it, but you see these pink stripes that are running like along here. I don't know if those are I've never really checked. It kind of looks like it would be um, glow in the dark, but I don't think it is really. It's just kind of strange, but it's a neat cover. I probably have several other Rob Liefeld books, whether it be cover art, interior art, or just something he has written. But those are the main ones I picked out for you guys to look at. And so now we can move on. I'll have to edit this in somewhere since it was an afterthought, and then we'll finish up. I hope you have a great week. I'd like to say happy Memorial Day to everyone in case I don't get another video up before Memorial Day weekend. So I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Everybody be blessed, and we will see you all next video.